Howdy folks, I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Today we're doing things a little bit differently. I'm going to be just reading through these and cutting out the boring ones that I don't want to use. Uh, because sometimes what'll end up happening is I'll read a lot to Amber, and then I'll just come back through and read them. So I may as well cut the middle step out here, and we'll get more Reddit this way. So for a point of clarification, I probably will not be reading as many comments, and I probably won't be giving as long advice. So again, these are all going to be a surprise to me. I have no idea if any of them are good or bad or whatever. But we'll start with the top today. Our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My In-Laws About What Their Son's Girlfriend Did to My Son's Blanket and Causing Her to Get Shunned? I'm a 33-year-old female, and I found out that my ex-husband, a 37-year-old male, was cheating on me when I was 7 months pregnant with our son. I got a divorce, and we share custody of our 3-year-old son. My ex-husband's girlfriend tried to get involved in my parenting several times. She even commented on my son's name, implying that we should agree on a name that we all want, not just what I wanted. And I tried to dictate what he should do and what he shouldn't have. As a result, she started throwing stuff of his that I paid for myself. Honestly, it's frustrating because I'm barely getting by with the money that I have, and I cannot afford to buy replacements for all the stuff that she throws out. But my ex-husband says it's her house, and she gets to decide what can and can't enter. That's a stop sending stuff over with them ASAP.
Also, document and bring that to the court.
Yeah, document all of this. I made a crochet blanket for my son with his name on it. I can see where this is going. This blanket is special to me, and the tools that I use to be able to make it cost me money, not to mention the time and effort it took to get it down. I sent my son to stay with his dad a few days ago, and he wanted to take his blanket with him to sleep with it. I don't know exactly what happened, but when I came to pick him up, he told me that his dad's girlfriend took it away from him and threw it out, leaving him with no blanket to sleep with at night as a punishment for not accepting the ones that she offered. Wow. I was furious. I called his dad, but he hung up on me. I sent him a text explaining the situation, but he texted back telling me that I should stop the drama and go look for a job if I have so much free time on my hands, instead of picking on his girlfriend. I felt frustrated, and I visited my family who are on good terms with me and told them about what their son's girlfriend did. And now it's worth mentioning that she's been working hard for their approval to get on their good side. They were shocked to know about what she did and all flipped out at her and started calling her out. My sister-in-law took it further by putting on this social media post, which made other family members see it and see what she did. My ex-husband called me, yelling at me at my pathetic attempt to turn his family against his girlfriend. I could hear her freaking out in the background while he was lashing out at me, saying that I ruined every chance that she had to have a good relationship with her future in-laws. Actions have consequences. Funny that. I hung up and felt absolutely horrible, which you shouldn't have, even though I was just venting to his family about what happened and felt frustrated. Maybe I should have told them. I'm not sure anymore, since the whole family aren't speaking to her, and that might have a lasting impact on their relationship with her. Alright folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, and she needs to get the message somehow.
Like, this one's pretty straightforward. Stop throwing away stuff that doesn't belong to you, and if you don't want it in your house, don't throw it out, but put it in a box and keep it outside of the house, right? Like, you don't get to throw away this stuff, and I think that this is absolutely horrible, and she's just going to face the actions of her the consequences of her actions here.
It sounds like she's trying to take over the son. Like, oh, you don't want the stuff. You need to have the stuff I give you.
Yeah,
my child.
Yeah, exactly. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for canceling my daughter's flight when she wanted to leave before my niece's wedding that she was a bridesmaid for? I know the title doesn't sound great, but hear it out. I'm a 54-year-old male, and my niece Taylor, 26-year-old female, got married a few days ago. My daughter Vienna, a 27-year-old female, was part of the bridal party as a bridesmaid. This wedding has been a year in the planning, and Vienna, of course, knew her role and everything in advance. She's been hanging around a guy, Matthew, for a while, but now I think that they're not anything serious. Matthew had gone to a different state on a business trip and got into an accident. This all happened a couple of weeks before Taylor's wedding. Vienna found out and had a nervous breakdown, saying that she needed to fly out immediately. Yes, I understand that she was upset, but she wasn't thinking straight and unnecessarily worrying. I explained to her that even if she goes and has to come back before the wedding, but it would be better if she didn't, as there was a lot of last minute things to do. She didn't listen and kept saying that she was going to go and probably stay there for a little while. Both me and my wife tried to explain to her to stay calm and she can go anytime after the wedding. She called up Taylor, my brother, and his wife and told them that she wouldn't be able to attend. Taylor understandably didn't take the news very well, and his wife made a whole Facebook post saying that some people don't want to see others happy. And this isn't a nice thing when family quits last minute. So she didn't mention us by name explicitly, but it was obvious what she was talking about. It pretty much caused a nuclear warfare throughout my entire side of the family, but Vienna wouldn't hear it and booked a flight before the wedding. All of our flyer accounts are linked, so I canceled her flight. Vienna went insane when she found out what we had and had a huge argument. And again, we were told that she really needs to understand how big of a deal this wedding is that she's a part of and that she's part of the bridal party. And some man doesn't overtake the family obligation. I even offered to pay the extra costs so she can reschedule the flight after the wedding. But she blew up at all of us. Vienna didn't attend the wedding and did all of her duties as a bridesmaid and thankfully didn't make a show. And all of us thanked her for understanding, but she pretty much cursed us all out, even my brother and his family. Me and my wife tried calling and messaging her after the wedding, but she's not picking up or answering. I don't know that she flew out the next day after the wedding, so I don't really see what the issue is, but Vienna is clearly mad at us. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Jerk. This is like a health emergency type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, I would want to know more about the accident and how injured he was. Like, if he stubbed his toe, then yeah, okay. Stubbing your toe isn't really a cause for alarm. If it's like, oh, he broke a leg, yeah, I mean, breaking a leg is a pretty bad thing, but it isn't necessarily like you need to get over there immediately. So I think that this one's a little bit more info for me. I don't know. It's not super clear, but I'm more inclined to say that you shouldn't have canceled her flight and that you should have let her go and do what she wanted to do. Like, you're treating her like she can't make her own decisions. She's an adult. She can make her own decisions. That's my thought. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright, this next one is titled, Am I the Jerk for Using Gym Childcare to Do Homework? And I should have led with this at the beginning. It's a YMCA. If it was an LA Fitness, I could see why people would be angry. I feel like the Y is sort of a gray area. I also asked before I joined if I could do this, and they said that I was okay. I mean, if you asked before you joined and they told you that you could do something, then it's probably okay, right? I'm a 35-year-old female and I have 3 kids, but only my 4-year-old and 2-year-old are involved in this question. I pay $114 a month for a family gym membership. I pay for the specific membership because the gym includes 2 hours of childcare per day with it. I do use the gym to work out, but I almost always use the childcare to get homework done. I am a full-time student and I have very limited options for childcare. My husband works 2 jobs, so often it's just me and the kids from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. They go to the nursery 2 mornings a week, and that's all we can afford. I have a lot of coursework, so I need more time to do it. I wouldn't have even thought of this question, but I have had an interaction several times that made me wonder if what I'm doing is in the wrong. Surrounding some of the workout classes, yoga, body pump, cycling, etc., a line forms for childcare, and sometimes the people at the back of the line don't get their kids in there because they hit capacity. I tried to avoid coming at the same time as these classes, but my schedule is what sometimes it is, and I can't avoid it. Multiple times the same women have, I guess, seen and realized that I'm unpacking a computer after I drop my kids off. They formed a group and are complaining that I shouldn't be allowed to leave my kids there unless I'm working out. The gym basically told them that they don't care what I am doing as long as I stay in the facility. They are escalating it through written letters to corporate and complaining to the management that every time I am there, even when childcare is not at capacity. I'm really mad because I need this childcare. They keep telling me to do homework at the library, but the library doesn't have childcare. I wanted to make sure that I'm not the jerk here. I honestly don't believe that I am, but this group of women is like 15 strong, so maybe I'm missing something here. Edit, I forgot to mention that this is a YMCA. It's not a corporate gym. There's a lot of programs other than strictly exercise that are run here. Technically, it's more than a gym. I live next to it, an extremely affluent area throughout it, so it's definitely a high quality workout facility. I think most people think of it only as a gym. Some of these people would still not be able to go to their workout even if my two children were not in childcare. They frequently are short on 8 to 10 spots when two classes are scheduled at once. I also really do try to avoid these classes. My schedule overlaps with peak times once in a while. The issue exists even when I'm not there. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
I think that OP is doing the best that they can with the situation. The Y has already said that their policy is they don't care. So I don't think that you're in the wrong here, OP. It's first come, first serve. If they want to get there and use the childcare, then they need to be the first ones in line. That's the way these kinds of things work. And who cares? Why are they not minding their own business about what you do with your exercise time? That's my thought. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright, our next one is titled, Am I a jerk for saying that I will not be doing anything for my nephew because of what his mother did? Before I get into what happened, I will state that I am fully an ally to the LGBT plus community, and that will never change. My upsetment towards the individual is not because of their orientation. I will report any homophobic responses that I see. I knew my ex-wife Zoe was bisexual, and I didn't have any issue with it. I also knew that my sister June was gay, but she had other girlfriends. I never had any reason to think that something was up until I discovered Zoe cheating on me with June. I found out this had been going on for years, even before we were married or even officially boyfriend or girlfriend. This was devastatingly painful to me. I would have done my best to be accepting if Zoe had ended our relationship the responsible way by explaining to me that she wasn't in love with me anymore and just wanted to date June afterwards. But the fact that they had been lying to me for so many years and Zoe led me on with the hope of starting a family when she never actually intended to tore me up inside. This is already just like a tragic story.
Yeah.
Zoe and June refused to understand my pain at all and had the attitude of, why should we have to apologize for being in love? What? You don't have to apologize for being in love. You have to apologize for not being a dirtbag who cheats on people, right? Most of my family agreed with Zoe and June because we spend most of our childhood in a non-LGBT friendly area, so they did deserve happiness after all, didn't they? It's not that they didn't deserve happiness, it's that I at least want some kind of acknowledgement about how wrong they were to lie to me. The few family members on my side were focused on homophobia and not Zoe or June lying to me. Everyone is missing the point. We were once extremely close, but I am now low contact with them to the point of only talking in emergencies. I was offered a position for a better paying company across the state and I took it. I have a girlfriend, Peyton, and I'm close with her family and our friends, but I had barely talked to Zoe or June until they reached out to me. They were friendly asking me over like, hey Mikey, how's it been? How's St. Luca? The photos that you posted look so fun, and I asked what they wanted. They responded like, oh, so sorry about that, and explained that it's about my nephew Charlie. Charlie has attended a local daycare slash preschool center, but now Zoe and June are looking at Montessori school because Charlie is an artist and they would like to think that he would be extremely beneficial to his development if he attended. They told me that since I have a ton of money just lying around because of my job, I could help with my nephew's tuition for at least the first few years. I told Zoe in June, how about instead you either find an ATM that you didn't lie to and cheat on or pay for it yourselves? I don't care that he's my nephew. I will not be doing anything for Charlie because you both aren't even sorry for what you did to me. Peyton, her family, and our friends support me because I don't owe my nephew private school anyways, but my family are saying that it was cruel of me to say that about my nephew because he has nothing to do with what happened, and I'm not acting like a good uncle. So now I'm conflicted. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
No, the jerk.
When he first prefaced this with the whole I'm not homophobic type of thing, I was really worried that this was going to be like, I'm not a homophobic person, but I said or did something that was very homophobic. I'm really happy that OP, all in all, has, made it outline that he's not unhappy about their relationship. He's unhappy that they cheated on him and never acknowledged that they're wrongdoing. Like, I can understand how they would find it hard to come out and be in a relationship. Sometimes there are, relationships I hear about where there's a cover relationship type of thing. But usually in those cases, well, the ethical thing is that the other person is aware that it's a cover relationship, right? And that's what they needed to do to make you, if they felt like they couldn't be in a relationship together out in the open, then they needed to find someone who would be willing to be a cover for them, no strings attached, right? So this wasn't something that you were willing to do. Well, I don't know that you weren't willing to do it, but they certainly forced you into a situation that wasn't good and broke your heart. And I think that's terrible. I really do. And no, you do not owe Charlie tuition here, right? Plain and simple. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for charging my friends for the soap that I make? I'm an 18-year-old male, and I make soap and I sell it on the side as a bit of a side hustle. It's something that I enjoy, and all of my earnings go into saving for when I have kids. I buy all the materials and ingredients myself to make them, and therefore I do charge for them. I do £8 for 8 ounces of soap, which I think is a pretty fair price. I only make around £2 per profit, but it all adds up, and I said that I have fun with it. My friends came over the other day and asked if they could get 5 bars of soap. I said sure, and told her that it would be £24, as I do mate rates for people I know. She came back and said that she didn't expect to have to pay for it, as I'm her friend. I explained that although she is my friend, I still do have to pay for the other ingredients, and it takes time to make soap. I told her that I had done mate rates for her so that she wouldn't have to pay as much, but she said that it was still way too expensive. I said that I'm more than happy to do an IOU if she wants to pay at a later date. She declined and told me that she won't be paying and to ship them out now. I waited a couple of days to cool off in hopes that she would have done the same. I messaged her and said that I don't mind going down to £18, but I can't go any lower. She said that she would pay £5 for 5 bars, and that is it. I told her that 1 bar is £8, so I would be losing a lot of money on it. She said that she would go somewhere else, and that she was going to tell everyone my service is bad. We have since talked, and she's still a bit bitter, but she told me that she was sorry and didn't know what came over her. She took me out for drinks, and she still seems to be a little bit mad. So am I the jerk? Am I a jerk for not going bankrupt on people? Yeah, I mean, like Amber said, not the jerk here. I don't think that OP, you have to go bankrupt to make your friends happy, plain and simple. Like, you're doing this for fun, partly, but it's also nice to make a little bit of money. And you even negotiated to the point where you were going to be making 0 money at all off of this, not even your time, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think that you're a jerk. No.
Well, and you should want to support your friends more than just like random businesses. Like, that always is the thing that you ask me when people are like, you're not giving me this for free because we're friends. It's like, you should want to support your friend's business because you care about them.
Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for inviting my ex to stay with me without asking my girlfriend? David, a 27-year-old male, and I, a 24-year-old male, are briefly dated while I was in college. We were best friends, practically lived at each other's apartments. and I had the typical testosterone fueled feelings of any university kid. We gave it a go for a few weeks before he graduated. He had to move away for a job, and so we decided to call it quits on our little experiment. We still very much stayed in touch though, and I adored him with my entire heart and soul, all mushy. I want this person to be in my life forever kind of stuff. Since then, I've identified as straight. I'd only ever dated women after that. I'm currently in a 5-month long relationship with Tara, a 24-year-old female. David lives a little whiles away from me because he's cool, successful, and busy. We haven't been able to see each other in person for a little while. However, thanks to a business trip that led him to my city, we are going to hang out properly again. Instead of him wasting money, I offered to let him stay with me, and he immediately accepted. I went a little MIA for a few days, caught up in work, and spent some time with him. Tara showed up on the last day of his trip. She knew he was in town, but forgot to mention that he was staying with me. A blowout argument happened, and I'm more than a little bummed that this happened the last day of David's stay. Am I the jerk for offering my home to my best friend? All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk? I think this depends on what happened between you and David and whether or not you had feelings and would have acted on those feelings. Mm-hmm. I think that if you invited him over to your house under the thought that maybe something will happen, then yes, you're a jerk. However, if you invited him over to your house as we're platonic, I really like him, but nothing's going to happen between us, period, you're still taking a pretty big risk because it sounds like you're not over him. So, but at least you would have been, honestly not trying to actively cheat on your girlfriend. So I think this really depends on your intentions here for me, but I can understand why, if you've talked about him like this before to Tara, why she would be concerned, maybe a little concerned here. So that's my thoughts. That's what I am thinking here. Let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Having 2 Weddings? I'm a 34-year-old female and my husband's a 33-year-old male and we're getting married. While planning our wedding, we had a lot of disagreements. He wanted cats from the movie Cats themed wedding, while I wanted a Harry Potter themed wedding. I wasn't expecting to read that. We decided to compromise by doing 2 different weddings to accommodate each of our different tastes. Although we considered doing one Harry Potter and one Cats themed wedding, we ultimately decided it would be less confusing and just all around simpler to split it up into 2 weddings. We also thought it would be easier for the guests since the weddings are on different dates. If the guests couldn't attend one wedding, they might be able to come to the other one. However, some guests are complaining about 2 weddings. It's not like we're asking all of the guests to go all out. We're not asking for wedding gifts for both weddings. And my husband's wedding, we're not asking the guests to wear cat costumes or anything. Just that they act like cats. Oh no. And while we are recommending guests wear wizard-like clothing for my wedding, my husband and I will be providing them for everyone to wear, so they won't have to go out and buy anything. Still, so many guests are unhappy about it, calling my husband and I selfish and self-absorbed and ridiculous. And even crazier, some of my relatives are threatening to go no-show at either wedding. I know it might seem like a lot, but my husband and I are doing our best to accommodate. Am I the... No. Everyone's taking this way too seriously. I think that you're fine. Like, if you were demanding gifts for each one and also being like, oh, you have to, 1, come to both weddings or don't come at all. And 2, you have to supply your own costumes for each wedding. Yeah, I mean, that might be a little bit unreasonable, but you're like, hey, you don't need to bring gifts to both weddings. One gift, which is typical of weddings, right? And show up, and we'll provide you with whatever you need. I mean, I think it's a fun idea, and I think that you two came up with a fun compromise for it. Although wizards do have cats. Just remember that. Wizards and witches, they do have cats. So maybe anyone who wants to be a cat can be the pet or familiar of a wizard at the at your wedding if you want to combine them. Just a thought. Just a thought. And yeah, take care and good luck.
That's a lot of fun.
It is. It is.
I would go to the Harry Potter wedding.
You can go to both, Amber.
I'm not. I mean, I love cats as in the animals, but cats, the musical cats, kind of creep me out.
I think that we should all go as the CGI creepy cats from the new version. All right, folks, it is tea time. I hope you have a beverage of choice here. I have a beverage of choice. Amber has some water. What do you get if you cross a watchdog with a werewolf? A very nervous mailman. That's a very silly joke. That is a very, very silly joke. And I have mint tea. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you enjoyed this kind of more freeform type of episode. Maybe I'll do it more often. If you like this video, consider giving it a like. And if you dislike this video, consider giving it a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Oh, and also, don't forget, Friday is the live stream.